Good evening, my friends. Are you ready for 2019 Cube bikes? Today I am only going to cover the hardtails because it is not that easy. This is already the 2019 website, so make sure you're on the new one. Cube, that's the German brand. They have quite nice bicycles, not super high-end bikes. There are some, but most of these will be like mid-range carbon and budget alloy bikes. Nice looking, pretty cool. Today, hardtails. So there will be carbon and aluminum hardtails for you. One thing I like about Cube website, two things, is this here. This is very helpful, and the geometry, the way they show you the geometry of the bikes. This though does not work because when you open the options, they will just be behind this this chart. I don't know why, but this helps. So we have 4 different riding styles: tour, sport, endurance, race. Race, this will be marathon and cross country. Endurance, marathon and just long rides if you like those without racing perhaps. Sport, for all those who just like riding through different terrain. You need a mountain bike for that. You don't need full suspension bike. You do it for fitness. These are not fitness bikes, but mountain bikes for sport. And then tour, of course, you can use the bikes for commuting. You can use those for just long tours, long journeys, many kilometers with some bags on the bikes. There are some here. You can open each section and see what models are within each model range, but this can be very tricky, especially the aluminum bikes here, CMPT, whatever it means, right? This can be very tricky. That's why I'm doing this for you guys and only for hardtails on this episode. Let's start with the easiest thing. We've got here the new trail, and this is the fat bike. So it's from tour, sport and endurance. There you go. New trail, this is the aluminum frame, fat tires. These are 4.4 or so. Yeah, Schwalbe Jumbo Jim Kevlar 4.4, 15 over 15 kilograms bike. It is okay for a hardtail with the fork. So that's the new trail. But we go back to the hardtails you will be choosing the most. Let's go from the top down. We've got here the Elite C68 and C62. Those names are very difficult to break down. I mean, when you just first look at the bikes, C means carbon, 68 means how much percent, how many percent, that means percentage of the carbon fibers in the frame. So the carbon fiber 68% plus the resin, that makes 100% of the frame. 62, that means a little bit less. So basically, when you go to the technology, the more carbon the better, and the more carbon the less resin, the higher modulus of the fibers is. So the frame will be stiffer, lighter and more tricky to make. So C68 will be the high-end carbon frames for Cube, and then C62 will be a little bit cheaper. And so for the race hardtails, you've got the Elite C68 SL and Elite C68 SLT, and then there is Elite C62. So it doesn't go from the cheapest to the most expensive. The C68 SLT, that's the lightest and the best spec'd hardtail from Cube. That's 8.8 kilograms. SRAM XX1 Eagle, and the fork will be the Fox 32 float. So that's it. That's the best frame they have. On the same frame, we've got also the XTR equipped bike, a little bit heavier. That will be 9.2, almost a half a kilogram. I think the same. No, it's not. Yeah, it's the same fork, very light forks from Fox. So these would be for pro riders. If you are a pro rider, then you know very well what I'm talking about. These would be to choose from. Very expensive bikes. And then C62 race will be made on the cheaper frame, cheaper carbon layup. And the weight will be 9.4 kilograms on XO1 Eagle and RockShox Seed RL. Also very good fork, guys. So these are the three. And then why do we have the C62 up here and then the Reaction C62? That's because this is the Elite C62, and so all the other C62 carbon frames will be different geometry. You can always look at the geometry. So these three, even though these frames are different, will have same exact geometry. You just go down here. That's what I love. This is the best way of showing the geometry. It's been for years with Cube. You just choose the size. You can see the info and then the size, boom, and you've got your stack. Okay, that's 625, and then reach 428. It will change as you choose different frame size. If you're not sure what it is, just go back to info, stack, reach. So this bike will be pretty long and low, so you're gonna be stretched, and this is the racing geometry, aggressive geometry. When you go for the Reaction C62, all these bikes will have same geometry, also aggressive, but a little bit less aggressive. So it will be a little bit higher and a little bit shorter than the previous ones, and then these ones for racing. Now here we've got same frame but different components, so it's not that difficult to choose from. But then C62 one is not the highest. This one is spec'd with the XTR and will weigh 9.5 kilograms, but the C62 SLT will be spec'd with XO1 Eagle and okay, I'm sorry, in this case it goes like that. So from the heaviest to the lightest. From the heaviest to the lightest. It's even difficult for me to memorize that. So the heaviest one won't be very light as for a carbon bike. 12.2 kilograms XT SLX with the Recon Silver at the front. And then lighter. Same carbon layup on the frame and same geometry. So for these bikes, same geometry, little bit less aggressive than on these three which have the same geometry. So C62, Elite C62 will have same geo as Elite C68 SLT and SL. Which one to choose? I would say these three are for sponsored riders or riders with just high budget. If you can afford, buy the C68 SLT, a simple thing. You may not feel very comfy on this geometry, so that might be one of the factors for you reasons for you to look at these bikes here. And from these bikes, I would just go for something like in the middle or even the lower range, because this is same frame and I would be probably changing just some parts. Like I would like to have, for example, the double crankset, so XT would be okay for me, and I think Fox 32 here rhythm will be also okay. I would be fine with 11 kilograms bike. Then maybe carbon wheels in the future, or a dropper post, or a carbon seat post. Is this one carbon seat post? We don't even know. So probably it's another one. Good tire, Schwalbe Racing Ralph, rear tire and front tire. Racing Ray, wonderful tire setup. I love these tires, guys. We've been testing those in the couple of races already. A good number of races. Very good tires, the new ones. So here I would go somewhere in the middle and then replace some parts I would like to, because probably the difference in C62 one price or C62 SLT and Elite C62 race won't be that much. So if you go really high on the budget, go for the best frame, C68. If you go for C62, don't go too high with the components, to make a long story short. Now it's becoming more difficult. As you can see, the Reaction C62, so these models are made for sport endurance race, so this would be like sweet spots for those who will be endurance, so many kilometers on the terrain. You can ride demanding terrain, you can race, you can use those for sport, it's okay. And then we have Reaction HPA, so still same name of the model, but not C, not starting with C, starting with HPA. That means aluminum bikes. And it doesn't mean we have one frame here, because we have two. We're gonna have from the Reaction Pro through the Reaction SL plus Race 1, so they changed the model name, but then they say on the model Race that it's got same frame as the Reaction Pro, and since Reaction Pro has the same frame as Reaction Race and Reaction SL, that's all the same frame. But then we have Reaction TM, and these are the trail bikes. So what you should know when buying, if you want to buy alloy bike, know that these Reaction bikes will be the higher components, lighter bikes, and more for performance, let's say, than the SMPT models. So these will be just, let's say, better, right? But they also have different frames. Reaction TM is for trail riders. This will be all these bikes will come with the seat post, with the dropper seat post, and with the trail geometry. So remember, these here very aggressive geometry, these C62 a little bit less aggressive geometry, and then Reaction HPA much less aggressive geometry. This will be more like all-rounder geometry. That's why, as you can see, Reaction HPA is recommended for mostly sport and also for some endurance, not for race. So actually Cube does not give you the bike, the like race bred winning machine built around the alloy frame set. For the race you've got carbon. That's what Cannondale does now, but some brands like Specialized, which I'm so thankful for, still do high quality aluminum bikes. These frames won't be very sophisticated. I don't think these frames are like very advanced. I think these are quite easy to make, just good all-rounder frames. So which one to choose? All these bikes fortunately come with the air shocks, air fork in the front. That's very good. And otherwise I would just you would just have to be aware that the TM will be more for trail riding, and the Reaction and Race, which is the same frame but different name, will be for more like sport riding, some marathons, some beginners, local cross-country races. Why not? Because these bikes will come with so good components. Sometimes the weight will be quite high, the frame won't be light. The frame isn't light, very light, I think, and these are all 29ers. So from these bikes I would say choose whatever you want. Just know that Reaction TM, TM Pro and TM Race is different frame, is more for trail riding, better for going down the hill, and more I would say safer also to ride fast. And important thing, these bikes, when you look up here wheel size and click just anything, are made around 27.5 each frame, each wheel size. That means like a true trail bikes, easier to maneuver, easier to go through the difficult stuff. If you don't have that much technical skills, you want to do some single track riding, checking out different single tracks, Reaction TM might be the bike for you. More sport oriented, that would be all these Reaction Pro, Race, SL and Race 1 bike. None of these is my favorite in terms of the components, but if I was to buy one of these, I would probably buy the one that has the lower components and looks nice. So maybe reaction race with this black frame, and one by drivetrain from Eagle would be cool. Or maybe reaction SL. Yeah, you just need to choose the frame that will also look nice for you. Otherwise, you can just swap any components between these. And finally, and the most difficult to choose from, Tour and Sport bikes, CMPT. So these were like mid-range alloy bikes, Reaction HP, and these are budget alloy bikes. And here we have A-Seat, AIM, analog, and attention. Difficult. All these bikes are 29ers, and I'm gonna try to make it easy for you. If you are on the budget, that's the AIM. Just click the AIM and you will see very low components, low price, high weight, 29ers. There is no 20-inch bikes for you. You can choose between 27.5 and 29er in some sizes, like 14 will always be smaller wheel. Sorry, and the 19 and 21 inch will be always 29er. But you can have 17 inch and 19 and 17 inch 29er, or 16 or 18 inch 27.5. I would go, if I was in this range, like about 18 inch, I would go for 27.5, because these bikes are heavy, are made of heavy components and have heavy forks. Cool. If you still want to buy some of these bikes, they will be having even more upright position. But if you want to go for sport, if you're really on the sport and don't want to spend that much money, the Attention SL would be my choice, because that's the one with the with the air fork, solo air fork. It doesn't mean it will be super stiff and very plush and just so much better than the coil forks, but you will be able to adjust it for your weight. I assume quite often, the guys who are buying these kind of bikes, which will cost about 500 euros, 600 euros, 700 euros, have the goal to just be more active and just do something for the fitness, maybe lose weight. If you are, let's say, 90 kilograms heavy rider, the coil forks that all these other bikes have will not be very good for you, like these here. If it's a coil fork, it will be impossible actually to adjust it for your weight. If you're a super light rider, like let's say 70 kilograms, it can be okay, but the biggest disadvantage of the coil forks is that you cannot really adjust it according to your weight. That's why Attention SL, either the blue one or the black one here, is better choice, talking about the weight and adjustment. Okay, so very budget, that would be AIM. If you wanna, all these bikes are kickstand and mudguards and racks compatible, but if you wanna buy the one straight from the box or straight from the store with some racks and fenders, there you go. AIM all-road, AIM SL all-road, these bikes are ready to take some luggage and very good for commuting, and the position will not be aggressive at all. So you can have that option. Otherwise, all the other bikes will still be compatible will have the eyelets for the mud guards and for the fenders, for the racks. So from these bikes, I would definitely choose Attention SL because it's got the air fork. Otherwise, AIM, if you're on the budget, I would buy the cheapest one. And if I was in the range of 18 or 17 inches, I would go for the smaller wheels. The bike will be lighter, easier to maneuver, because the components here will be very, very low. And that's what I think about these bikes. So what would be my choice? Definitely for the racing riders, that would be C68, either SL or SLT. If I was to go for this cheaper frame, remember this one is as aggressive as C68, and these C62 are cheaper. I would probably go somewhere down here with the double chainset, but I understand most of you would like to have the 1x drivetrain, so there you have, there is an option for that. And then the Reaction, remember Reaction SL will be the lighter here, I think. Let me check. 12.7, that's the Reaction SL, and then Race One 13.5. You see, so this is misleading. So this is the like most performance oriented Reaction. And remember, TM are trail bikes, capable 27.5 inch wheels, easier to ride in on the single tracks. And then AIM, very budget, A-Seat still budget, and Attention SL will have the air fork. And here we have the fat bike. I hope it helps. It's not that easy. I'm gonna continue to cover Cube bikes in the following episodes. Thanks for watching, and put some questions if you have those in the comments below. See you soon. Bye bye.